Sheldon Tatchell is the founder and CEO of Legends Corporation. Sheldon has been pursuing his passion for barbering and entrepreneurship since 2011. His business operates 70 barbershops across South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, and Lesotho. Sheldon's mission is to empower the next generation of barbers by providing them with quality training, mentorship, and opportunities. He has since established 16 active training centers across the region. Sheldon has a certificate in entrepreneurship from the Branson Center of Entrepreneurship. Sheldon follows his dreams and inspires others to do the same. You're listening to my Entrepreneurship Journey podcast. I'm Difo Machele, and welcome. Sheldon, thank you. Thank you very much for coming to the podcast. I've got such big feelings right now. I feel so excited, and I'm full of gratitude for you to come here, because I know that we are all going to learn so much from you. You are quite an inspirational human being. Thank you. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you very much for having me on your show, Lufo.
Let's get right into it, Sheldon. You started your entrepreneurial journey at about 12, 14 years old.
Yes.
What wonderful. Can you walk us through that experience?
Yes. Thank you very much for allowing me to share my story on your show. I think at the age of 12 years old, that's about when the entrepreneurship bug just kicked in. And back then I never knew what entrepreneurship was. So I used to be the kid that used to use his allowances that he got from his parents, save that money up and go buy ice cream, resell it at school, and always coming up with creative ways in terms of how can I actually make money. And for me, it was just it actually was a hobby, but also what happened was that because I saw that the problem of not having money in our household, you understand, and finding a solution to how can I play my part in this whole thing. So I think that's where entrepreneurship bug kicked in. And then I saw an opportunity at the age of 14 years old. And I was like, okay, you know what? Instead of being able to sell products, I can actually sell my time, because you can imagine 14 years old, you have so much time on your hands, and you think to yourself, what do I do when I get home after school? What can I do on weekends? So then I learned a skill of cutting hair, and how I learned the skill was visiting different barbers in my community, gaining knowledge on how they were cutting and the methods that they were using, coming back home, practicing, giving kids free haircuts in order to get to a skill, and then realizing that, I could actually make something out of this. And there was I charging 10 rand, and that's how the journey started out.
Yeah. And why hair specifically? Was there someone who in the community who was cutting people's hair, and you looked up to them?
Yes. So in our community, I think there was two things that I saw. The first thing was that the barber was seen as the person that's the hero that will make you look good. He is the person that can change you right there and then. And also another issue that I identified was with regarding them not being consistent as and when people would want them to cut their hair. So the barber would have years that, and this was all over, where I seen that the barber would do things, and obviously it's informal, but he would do things as and when he wants to. So for him, it wasn't like a job or a career. It was much more as I'm doing my customers a favor. And I think that's when I saw, you know what, if I could maybe tweak that, maybe I'm not the best barber or I have the best skills, but if I can solve those issues, then I'm definitely onto something here.
Imagine at that age, that is quite amazing. And then you went on like that, Sheldon, up until you opened your first now official barbershop. Did you use your savings you were, collected as capital to do this, or did you source funding externally?
So how I actually started was that obviously when I matriculated at school, I then I then I then thought to myself, you know what, barbering is not actually going to pay the bills. You understand? I think I
Yeah,
could rather
yeah.
make a career in a corporate job, and I went on to go work at Standard Bank, and but something that you're passionate as much, you still do it on the weekends, but then I saw my cousin open a internet cafe. This was in Yondrado Park. So then I asked him if I can make use of his stoop to mimic a pop-up barber, and he agreed with the condition that I only come on weekends. I said, "Good shot," because I only have weekends to come there. And I started out. This was back in 2011. All I had was a clipper and a chair. There was
Wow.
no, yeah, that's all I had. And I decided just to give it a shot. You understand? I literally just started as small as possible. And
Yeah.
and when I started out, things begin to grow. I then realized that there's actually a queue that's building up. So people are waiting in anticipation each and every weekend for me to actually give them a haircut. I didn't realize what makes me different. What makes me different from the
Yeah.
barber that's right across the road from me, a barber that has been in the industry for much longer, to my assumption. I then went across to him and went to go see what he's doing. I then
Uh-huh.
realized that, it was much more of a monetary transaction for him, where he was just cutting hair to get done. Whereas for myself, it was much more of a relationship building exercise.
Mm.
So what I
Mm.
done was I would take note of each and every customer, write down their name, the conversation that we had, some few key points, and next time I go cut that person, guess what? I'm making reference to that conversation. And that's how
Wow.
the person felt belonging to their barber. Because with this being said, I do believe that I'm not the most talented barber, but being able to build relationships that's sustainable. Now people
Mm.
realize, what, I feel so attracted to my barber because he knows me personally. And I think that's where the journey of me actually getting into our first store started. So right, not far away from where the stoop was, there was a
Yes.
small space. There was like a space that's about 30 square meter. I
Uh-huh.
then used the profits. So what happened was that a friend of mine came on board. He could also cut there. I asked him if he can join. We shook hands, and I said, "From today, you're my partner." And then it was just one of those things. But
Yeah.
yeah, then down the road, down the road from the stoop, there was a space about 30 square meters, and I I then asked the landlord if we could maybe lease here. We used the profits of the stoop to invest in the operation of that first actual location, and then we launched on the 1st of September 2011, and
Mhm.
then we recruited guys from the community, showed them how to cut hair. And what we done was so intentional because we went out to the schools, to the old age homes. We done this as a way just to give back. But
Yeah.
then looking at it, we then enjoyed going to the old age home so much. We decided, why not name the barbershop after the old people, because they're actually legends of our community, and that's
Ah.
the name Legends actually comes from. Is actually serving the people from the old age home.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So that
so
was the
interesting.
first store. Yes,
That was the first store
yeah,
because as you say from your cousin's internet shop stoop
yes,
to now having 70 stores
yes,
nationwide, even out of the country, you mentioned it so well that to you it wasn't just about, hey, have a seat, I'll cut your hair. You were building relationships. So it seems you took what seems like on the surface to us looking on the outside looking in, like it's just an ordinary service. A barber is a barber, you
Yes,
just cut hair,
yes,
and you positioned it into a brand that stands out
yeah.
just by being so dedicated and loving your customer and building a relationship. I feel like that is so amazing.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, so it's been an interesting journey because if you look at that first store, I
Mm.
we actually failed because of my partner. Actually ran away with the money when I came back from honeymoon. Shop was closed, and then I felt like I lost everything. But
The partner you shook hands with.
the partner two hands with you can imagine, and
Oh no.
and and then looking at this, just looking at it in hindsight, I mean, we then relaunched Agents 2014. And when we relaunched Agents 2014, I then used that failures as lessons to cultivate a
Mm.
new direction. Because looking at what I'm doing and looking at what I'm preparing for, that's exactly what the vision was back in 2014.
Mm. So you didn't give up on your vision. You said, you know what? I've learned, I fell, I learned, and now I'm going back, having learned from those lessons because it's so easy, to just give up and say, okay, let me just go back to the bank or do something else. But you didn't let that deter you.
No, definitely, because I think being able to fail is a blessing in disguise, and I
Mm.
think most entrepreneurs they shy away from failure because they are too scared to be burned. But in business, you are about it is part of the process. It is part of growing. It is part of a journey that you have to go through these stages because you're unable to go through these stages, guess what? You won't
Mm.
be able to know the true value of what you can stand because you must be able to be that person that's so strong and so bold enough that when failure comes, then you take it on as a challenge to willing to learn. And I think that's exactly what I took on and not taking it personal, but looking at how am I able to change this around and make it positive.
Mm. Hmm. And in one of the conversations you had with someone, I noted something that you said that I found quite profound. That you knew quite early on in your life that you didn't want to have someone determining your net worth or how much you should earn.
Mm.
Sheldon, this is how much you should take home. I found that so profound. If you
Yes.
really really think about it deeply, can
Mm.
you expand more on that?
Yes, so I think one of the major things for me personally is 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 ability to take full accountability. Yeah, understand because because most of the time we tend to blame situations and problems that might hinder us from achieving certain things, and that actually limit us in our thinking and our belief system. But if you're able to have the stance, because there's this one quote that I've learned while I went through the process of learning of failing, and it was one book that I read that says that I am the captain of my ship, I'm the master of my fate. So that means that everything that happens to me, it's because of me. You understand? So whether I'm going through a situation, if if I am in this situation, that means that I can do something about how I respond to it. You see, not how other people perceive how I should respond, because that's exactly taking full accountability of each and every action that you want to do moving forward. So I think accountability for me speaks volumes because now you are able to do things in a certain way that is that is counterproductive to what the world sees, because everyone would blame. It's easy to blame. It's easy to say,
Yeah.
I I blame the government. I blame this. I blame everything that shouldn't could possibly happen. But once you start using that and say, you know what, how am I going to change my way of doing things and take full accountability for each and everything. And then what happens? Your thought process starts changing. Everything that you do starts changing. You understand? Like, just to make an example of you, like I've been on a weight loss. I've been on a weight loss journey for the past year, and and I think this one moment when I took a picture of myself in the mirror and I saw myself and I'm like, nah, this totally can't be me. I can't be this overweight. I mean, I was weighing about 128 kg, which is quite big. And and I then made a decision to take full accountability of what I eat, what I do with my body, because things that you can control is things that you can make changes, because the change process is so painful. But guess what? When you see the rewards afterwards and when you see what happens afterwards, then you're like, being able to take that responsibility that I needed this. I needed to change everything that I'm going to do moving forward.
Wow, that is quite profound. And when in your journey, I like that part. I like that part about taking accountability to not blame the system, to not blame your environment or your situations. Like, oh, what am I going to do? I'm not finding a job. What am I going to do? My parents are not rich, or thank you for that, for sharing that, Sheldon.
Thank you very much.
And when in your journey now with Legends Barber, did you realize, hey, there's a surge in growth now. There's something changing. My business is tipping. There's this book I like, The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell. Gladwell's there explains, according to him, the tipping point is, a magic moment when an idea or trend or even a social behavior crosses a certain threshold. It tips and then it spreads like wildfire. He says, usually there are people involved that he calls, the Marvins, the sensational people, the connectors. He says these people are special. They have that gift of bringing the world together, but that should be met with someone working hard and dedication on your part,
Yes.
Do you somehow relate to that when you realized, you know what, I think my business has now reached the tipping point? Did you experience something like that?
Yes, no, definitely. And I like the book as well because it speaks about being able to solve problems and basically looking at how are we able as human beings to change our behavior in doing things in a certain way. So one thing I can definitely relate to that book is an experience that I had. So I had an experience where my goal was to open 5 stores in 5 years. This was back in 2014. And what happened was that so we opened our first store, and when we opened our first store, the goal, I'm going to play it all out in my mind. When you play something out in your mind, you're going to open it for a year, open the store there, and you limit yourself according to how you see yourself growing. You understand? You're already forecasting your growth. But then it came to a point where you realize that like this growth that you are experiencing is beyond your expectation. And this was around 2018 to 2019, where we start seeing an influx of customers from all over South Africa, celebrities. Each and every person that you can think about is getting a haircut at Legends. And this just changed the trajectory of our business. Now we're people who are customers of the business, like all of these celebrities, soccer players, superstars alike. Now they also buy franchises within the business, and then you realize that you're onto something here, because this is really something special. And I think that's where the tipping point happened around that particular year, and it's during that time when I decided, you know what, for me to control all of this, I need
Mm.
to be able to to think about different ways and means, because Sheldon can't be at all the stores at all the time. So now I have to
Yeah.
look at different methods in terms of how am I going to do this. So then I started investigating, how does franchising work? How is franchising? Uh, uh, what certain procedures do we have to do in order to create a successful franchise, and being able to adopt the perfect franchise for your business, which is so crucial. And I think once we're able to look in this and look at your business model, where your business model starts evolving and being something that is not only for yourself but for the growth and the betterment of others, then I feel like that was my tipping point right there.
Wow, wow, Sheldon, and can you walk us through your approach to building your brand's identity now? As you say, you now had to look at franchising, such as color schemes in the shops or the ambience or even the tone of voice of when a client walks in. My cousin sister cuts her hair every now and then, and she goes to a certain Legends barber shop.
Yes,
So I know how she raves about it.
yes,
She's
yes,
obviously she's a girl. She wants that
yes,
treatment. She wants that
yes,
nice. How did you reach that point? What is it that you did?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think there's certain principles that obviously you have to lay in place. You understand there's certain things,
Mm,
certain fundamentals that you have to put in place, and understand that entrepreneurship is a journey. So
mm,
so just to give you context, so there's verse in the Bible in Colossians 3 verse 23 that says, "Whatsoever you do, work at it with all your heart, as you're working for the Lord and not for men." So this particular verse for me actually
mm,
symbolizes everything that we do in our business. So if you look at the type of culture that we created within our business, where when the guys are able to not only cut in the shop, but if they go out into the community, still today, they still have a responsibility to to go out to the old age homes, to go out to the schools and
yeah.
cut hair, you understand? But they do
Yeah.
this not for themselves because this is free haircuts, but they do this for for God, because they believe that everything that they do is unto God. You understand? Now you're creating this culture within your organization that is that the foundation is built on certain principles, and in our case, it's built on Christ. So in our training centers, we we get guys from different communities. So we get guys and girls from different backgrounds, but in order for them to be able to ground it in faith, uh, we basically take them through how to live their lives, not within the stores only, but on outside. You understand? How do you portray yourself
Mm,
on outside? Because remember that you are the brand, you are the person that God has called for now, but you have to
mm,
be able to live up in a certain way. You understand? And that's exactly. I think the main fundamental principle for us is bringing Christ within our business, because then we realize what is our redemptive purpose on this earth as a business, and that speaks volumes. And I know many business wouldn't like to take the religious approach, but
mm,
what we have decided within our organization, and it's not that we don't accept other religions. It's just the fact that these are the principles that we have grown our business on for many years, and we see that there has to be some sort of foundation and some principles that we instill from the beginning.
hmm. You said that was in Colossians 3:23.
Yes, Colossians 3 verse 23.
3:23. So
Yes,
it's not just about business and making money. As you're saving that person,
yes,
it's servitude also to God.
it's
So you take it and notch up. It just doesn't end with a transaction. I cut your hair, give me money, go your way.
yes,
It's more than that. You even go to the community, but also it has to reflect in how you carry yourself and in your life as well.
that's so true. That's spot on.
That's so amazing.
Because it's
Yeah.
holistic way. Because our our mission is to change people's lives. You understand? So
Mm,
how we're able to impact people's lives. So this is how we do it. So if you look at our training and development center, that's a one key element within our business where where we're able to give guys in the communities free education on how to become barbers and give them the opportunity to either work at Legends or to start their own business. And now if you're adopting this mindset and you're giving back to the community and you're doing it in a certain way, guess what happens? Now the community starts seeing what you're doing. Everyone can notice it, and you still go back within that same community, and you're able to give back. You still go to the schools, you still go to the old age homes, and you still continue to make a difference. And that, for me, I think is one thing that people can remember me by, is being able to have the vehicle in order for us to create that impact in the different communities that we find ourselves.
This gives goosebumps. No, this is quite rare, I tell you, Sheldon. These days, it's all about what's in it for me. Thank you for that. Legends Barber also offers its clients, it's ancillary hair care products. You can buy in store, you can buy externally from e-commerce sites and all of that. I presume this is to offer clients a more comprehensive experience also of how to take care of their hair post the grooming and the cutting and as additional revenue for the business, obviously. How did this now come about?
Yes, I think that's such a vital question. So I think when we started looking at going into our own product lines, I then started out with products that we were using. So we would then look at what are the products that we can manufacture for usage. So then we come up with your hair color, with your hair fibers. These are the things that you need to use in the store. But then our customers started asking us, how am I able to achieve a certain hairstyle? And then we scratch our heads and find out, you know what, we have to go to the drawing board and actually formulate products that our customers can use, because at that particular time, there was no product that was solving that particular problem that our customers was facing. And we said, you know what, we're going to take that chance. We are going to be able to do our research and let us come up with products that actually work for our customers. And being so passionate, because I think like another thing about me is that each and every product that we develop, I'm so involved in it because I test it, I go through it, I want customers' reviews, I want feedback, and I also want to ensure that we create a product market fit. Because if you create something that's not product market fit, you might hit the wrong ketone, you understand? So ensuring that the product that you're creating is going to be the one for the product. And then we started seeing traction within our stores, and then we started seeing people actually latch onto these products, and people say, you know what, these products are actually quite good. And then we start seeing the growth within the products. And we use that track record, we use that whole analytics, and we approach the retail chains, and we're like, guys, these are how we're selling our products within our stores. These are our numbers. Can you see this? Are we able to list within your particular retailers? And then they started agreeing. So then we start having our products being listed in your Discams, your Clicks, your Sparks, TFG recently as well, the Markham's Group. And then we started looking at all of these distribution chains. Now we're making it much more accessible to collaborate with different partners in order for them to distribute our products, which has grown tremendously. And I can say that there is a reason why the product range has been doing well, because of the type of research and work that has gone into it over the years.
Yeah. And it all started by just listening to the customer.
Yes. It's listening to the customer and also creating a product market fit. I think most of the time entrepreneurs sometimes do get ahead of themselves and create products that could be futuristic and is not right for the consumer that you're serving. So you need to
Ah,
understand who is your customer, who are you servicing, what does your customer need right now, and will they be able to latch onto that particular product that you're servicing them? Understanding
wow.
a different story. It's a different story just being able just to put products out there, but creating a product market fit takes a lot of time and effort, and that's
Mm,
exactly what you need to do.
I see, I see. And what were some of the biggest challenges, if any, you faced in your business, and how did you overcome on or deal with them?
There's been a lot of challenges.
Mm,
Just to take you back. I mean, we experienced COVID.
mm.
For everyone,
Yeah, yeah.
the industry was actually closed down for 4 months, and during
Mm,
these 4 months, it felt like people are no longer going to cut hair anymore. People are learning to
mm,
cut at home, and it felt like everything was crumbling down because now
mm,
we are losing out on so many potential customers. You understand? And during this time, uh, like I say that things work in 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 a way because I believe that uh, it was a crisis for us personally. You understand? And
mm,
and the one thing that I say is that good companies, especially looking at the bad companies that are destroyed by these crises, and COVID was a typical example of that. So you have the good companies that are destroyed by COVID, but then you also have the the bad companies destroyed by crisis, but the good companies that survived them because there was a number of companies that survived COVID. But then when it gets to Legends, was like one of the great companies that actually improved during this time, that really thrived because of certain things that we were doing during that 4 months that we were at home. So just to give an idea, for
yeah.
that we were at home, we were looking at how best can we serve our communities, how best can we make a difference within our communities. And I just felt God speaking to me is like, you know what, uh, that 90,000, that balance that you have in your account, give it
Mhm.
all to the different regions and make sure that we are feeding the people on the ground, that we are doing initiatives to make a difference on the ground. Because don't worry, if if we come back, we can always make a way, but make sure that the people, because people were going hungry and things were
Mm, mm,
so really bad. And we rallied all our guys and we said, guys, we're going to go within the communities, we're going to buy food parcels, and we're going to give it out to the needy. Whoever needs food parcels out there, let us make a difference. And this is what we've done during COVID. We've done it like every single week or every second week until our balance was depleted. And guess what happened
wow.
when we came back from COVID? We came back from COVID, and we decided. I can remember the day that when we came back, we said that we are we are going to give free haircuts out, and people
Mm,
are okay. Are you going to give free haircuts out on a day? So he said, yes, but your only requirement in order for you to get a free haircut is to bring a grocery parcel. So we can take that grocery parcel because we realize that the need within the communities are so big. And
yeah.
retail shops flocking. And there was queues of people just wanting to give food parcels out to the needy. And we had like so many and we went out and we went to give the community. But just see how God works because during that time, I mean, like, if we were not obedient to all of those things, we would have not seen the growth as it is today. Back then, we only had 12 stores. Today, we're standing on over 70 stores in 5 countries. And
Mm.
realizing that that if you're able to just make a difference in the community, find yourself to sow the seed, it will definitely come back in some way or form. But just being obedient to the voice.
Hmm. I wonder, Sheldon, did your vision ever scare you at some point and you doubted if you will ever achieve your goal?
Mm. Yeah, no, definitely. We have experienced I've experienced this so many times because there's decisions that I make that
Mm.
that I wonder to myself, is this really going to succeed?
Yeah.
Is this really going to pan out the way I think it's going to pan out? And then you ask yourself, wow, like just to give an example of recently we decided to manufacture our own hair clippers, and something that's really new to me. You
Yeah.
understand? Being able to do this because we see the need within the communities, not only in Legends Barbershop, but also in different barbershops across our industry, where guys don't have the funds to buy professional clippers. And now being able to take on this and say, you know what, I am going to take on this vision, and my vision is to that every barber has professional clippers that he can service the customers with. I think that was one of the things that I experienced this year where I doubted myself. But guess what? When we launched the clipper in a space of 2 to 3 months, yeah, it's 3 months now that we have, and we have
Yeah.
sold over 1,000 clippers to all these different barbers, and we've also gave back in the communities, and we've helped so many barbers to actually have professional clippers. So I think there's an
Wow.
element of fear, but there's also an element of being able to risk it for the greater good.
Mm.
Because if you're able to
Mm.
risk it for the greater good, I think God always sees your heart, and God says, you know what, based on what your heart desires, I can see it will come to pass.
Yeah, yeah, because going back to the COVID conversation, I don't know, because when they called it the novel coronavirus, indeed it was a new thing for the whole world to shut down. And many businesses, you don't know, how am I going to get out of this? You know, when the economy and eventually opens up, how am I really going to go about it? But you took your reserves during that time
Yes.
and start giving to the people and saying people are hungry, which was a reality. And you just kept on going and going. And whereas many were like, okay, holding on to whatever you have and thinking, okay, we don't know when this is going to end. People were, hoarding and putting things. And if you own a business, you're thinking, okay, I need to strategize with
Yes.
this little money I have. When now we eventually do open, how am I going to go about it? I'm going to scale down. But you took your money and started giving to the people. I feel
Yes.
like as much as you're talking about fear,
Yes.
you also have that deep sense of fearlessness. And I don't know if it also is coupled with trust in God. I
Yeah.
just find this amazing.
No, I definitely agree with you because I think that's how we should love our lives, because it's contrary to what everyone believes. Because once you go against the grain, because many people believe, like for example, like COVID, where you have to hold on to the results, you can't spend,
Mm.
you can't
Yeah,
release funds because you don't know what's going to happen to the future. But
yeah,
if you have your assurance in God and knowing that God has your future, then you're able to do things contrary to what everyone thinks is is actually the wrong thing to do at that particular time. Because in business sense, it really doesn't make sense. But if
mm,
take it from a different point of view and say, you know what, I'm going to trust God. I'm able to sow the seed. I'm able to do and step out of the boundaries. And guess what happened? Doors starts opening and things starts happening beyond your imagination. And I'm a testimony of this because I've seen it
mm.
work so many times where that fear steps in, but because you have God on your side, then all things are possible.
Yeah. Wow. This is so profound. You left it in the hands of God. It business science, scientific, world, this doesn't make sense, but my future belongs to God.
And that's
It takes me back to,
mm,
yeah, it takes me back to one verse. I have no idea where it comes from, but it goes like, we plan as humans, but it's God who actually establishes our steps. You
yeah,
can plan as much as you like and have your
yes,
brilliant brain and whatnot, but it is God
yes,
who establishes. Yeah.
yes, yes, and that's so true. That's also true because Because many of the times in our minds, we want to dictate how God should work in us and through us. And many of the times it's not the way that God intended, because his thoughts is higher than our thoughts, his ways is
Yeah.
in our ways. So how he thinks is not how we think. We think limited resources, and with him all resources are unlimited. And 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 looking at this, if you are able to implement these principles within your business and do things according to how how not the world would want you to go, because everyone always looks at what's the trends that's currently happening. Can I jump into the trends? Can I see what's happening within the world so I can be the first one or be the one that's taking on that? But once you're able to stick to what you know and how you do things, like for example, like barbering was never fashionable. Barbering wasn't a thing to go through. Like people always ask me, why are you doing this? You can be doing something else. You can be working there. You can do X, Y, and Z. But
Yeah.
not for everyone. It's being able to decide what you are gifted with, because everyone does have a calling. Everyone has something deep down within themselves to say, no, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. It doesn't matter what comes my way. I'm going to have that maniacal focus that I'm going to be the best at what I do. And if things happen, let it happen. But people are going to find me doing the same thing. I
Yeah.
understand, over and
Yeah.
over until I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Wow.
exactly it. I think many of the times as entrepreneurs we get shifted and drifted away from your ultimate purpose. And
Yeah.
ultimate purpose is not to follow trends. Ultimate purpose is not to follow the norm. You are called to be something great, but you have to stay in your lane. You have to stay in what you do consistently, no matter sometimes it doesn't look like it's working out, because I've seen days where I feel demotivated. But guess what? If you latch onto your source and you say, I'm going to trust God because I know that I am called to do this, and you constantly remind yourself of the things that you're doing, and you build that self-confidence, and you start seeing things unfold, and then you realize that, things are actually working out according to our God plans, and this is not
Yeah.
my doing.
Yeah. Wow. I feel so emotional right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. So motivational, and you're speaking to me. and I know to everyone else listening to us now. And do you have any advice for anyone out there listening, looking to build or even elevate their brand, or even start a business?
Yeah. So yeah, no, I think there's definitely few things that I have done within my business
Mm.
is I think for anyone out there, the number one thing that I've learned is to constantly stay curious. Curiosity is one of
Ah,
that I love so much, because I'm always acceptable to learning something new. I'm always acceptable to being the one that's asking questions, that's willing to research, that's willing to find out how can I do things better? How am I able to learn something new? How in my industry am I able to do something different? And once you are curious enough and you constantly ask questions, I mean, there mustn't be a day gone without you asking certain question that you don't know. You understand? Or else
yeah, yeah.
you are not growing, and I think that's so important. The next thing is humility. For me, humility plays a big part within
Mm.
in you as a person, because remember the Bible says that whoever whoever exalts themselves will be humbled, but whoever humbles themselves will be exalted. So if you humble yourself and you take on the approach of humility to say that I am I am actually going to approach whatever I do in humility, whether it's my customers, whether it's the people that's around me in my lives, I'm going to be humble and I'm going to be arrogant around that, and thinking that I am this person, I'm the greater person. It's always because guess what? People want to do business with people that are humble. And once you're able to to humble yourself, even when your bank balance starts growing, still
Yeah.
remain grounded, still remain humble. And the last thing I would say that take on the form as being tenacious in your approach. Just be tenacious in whatever you find yourself in.
Mm.
The thing is that many of us would in entrepreneurship, there's no 9 to 5. And many people think that, you know what, I'm just going to work from a certain time till a certain time and I'm going to switch off. But it
Yeah.
doesn't work
Yeah.
like that in entrepreneurship. In entrepreneurship,
True.
this is your life. So you have to give it your all. You have been afforded 24 hours in a day. What are you doing with every split second of the day? Are you making a difference? Are you able to work as hard as you can possibly can and being able to show the world out there that I'm going to show up and I'm going to give it my all, or you're just going to wait for things to fall on your lap. And I think those are definitely the three things that I believe are so crucial for is curiosity, humility, and tenacity.
Huh. Awesome. And then thank you for that, Sheldon. And now today, with running over 70 stores
Yeah.
and with over 600 barbers, I presume maintaining some sort of a mental agility must be crucial for you. So what habits or practices do you incorporate into your daily life to keep your mind sharp and focused?
Thank you. I think that's so crucial because you, as an entrepreneur, you are actually, especially when you're starting out, you become the lifeblood of your organization. You
Yeah.
are the thing because everything. Remember, it goes back to the saying that 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 I am the captain of my ship. I'm the master of my
Yeah.
ship, He's taking it full responsibility. So my daily routine each and every day when I wake up. So I wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. At 4:30, I go on. So basically, from 4 a.m. to 4:30, that's the time that I use to pray, to meditate. And from
Okay.
4:30, I will then go out and go run. And I do this on a daily basis. I think my morning routine is so crucial because that anchors my day. That's the time where I get to spend with myself and with my maker to understand that the day that's coming ahead of me, anything can go wrong, anything can happen, but because I have faith that things will work out according to plan. So I'm anchored in that from the beginning. 5 a.m. I I go on a run and
Mm-hmm.
do this like each and every day. Then afterwards, I would then take my kids to school and then get to the office. Uh, what I also do when I'm spending time in traffic, I'm always learning. I'm always learning. So I have audio books that's playing in the
Awesome.
background. I have as soon as I get to the office, there's I have a bookshelf, so I'm surrounded by knowledge each and every day. So
Mm.
whatever I need in a course in time, I can make reference to certain things that I've learned because there's always a book out there that you can just pick up and you can just learn from certain principles that you can just
True.
say, this is what I need right now. And then it becomes a mirror that you're actually reading to yourself and you're like, these are the changes that I need to make. And taking on that and I mean like that's the most important part of my day. Then things happen from a world point of view. So I think your
Yeah.
habits that you take on is so important.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. And thank you. And talking about books and in closing, Sheldon, do you have a book that impacted your entrepreneurial journey or just your favorite book that you can share with us?
Yes. So there's a couple of books that what I personally like that I've also leaned on for many years. There's a book by Napoleon Hill that Think and Grow Rich. I think
Yeah, yeah,
that book just being able to alter the way you think as an individual, being able to change your mindset in a way that you are adaptable and you can be resourceful with what you have. And so I
yeah.
think that book for me plays such a big role. Then there's other books. Like there's other books that I can mention, like 48 Laws of Power, that teaches you the principles of how to behave. They teaches you the principles of how to how to do things in a certain way. Because as as an individual, you have to learn from what has been done in the past. So 48 Laws of Power takes you along the journey of what people have done in the past and the principles that they have used to actually make those changes within themselves. And yeah, there's a couple of books. I mean, I can go on and on, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think the most important book for me also is the Bible because it's application that I use on a daily basis. The Bible for me, it's there. It's relevant till this day, and things that I might go through, things that I'm struggling with, I just reach for the Bible as well. From a personal background, it just anchors my faith so much.
Yeah. Wow. Sheldon, thank you. That has been so amazing, so educational, so inspirational. I don't know. I feel so overwhelmed and I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for coming to talk to us today.
No, thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me on the show before.
Thanks for listening to our show this week. If you enjoy our show and would like to support us, help us by spreading the word. Tell your friends about Mej and engage on social media. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Our handle is @Mej Podcast. Mej My Entrepreneurship Journey on LinkedIn. If you would like to engage with us privately, drop us an email at defour@mejpodcast.com. Remember, we are available and streaming wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Defour Machele, and you've been listening to My Entrepreneurship Journey